What's up, my Finna love? Sisters Finna D coming to you all from Finna Team News.
This video is 100% for my supporters who still rock with Fallon and was asking me about the part 2. I did promise to upload part 2 after I uploaded part 1. It's been a few days and here I am. For those of you who missed part 1, please click the very first link in the description below to watch part 1 where Fallon talked about how she was treated at Bravo. It was a very interesting video, so if you missed it, click that link to watch it. Before I get to the Instagram live and into part 2, I do want to also give another update. A few months ago, I posted this flyer right here and social media when it comes to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and Porsha Williams supporters just went crazy because Fallon was promoting her appearance at Porsha Williams' Ex-Fiancé clubs, okay? His lounge, crew lounge, club, whatever. Most of you are aware that Porsha is currently engaged to Fallon ex-husband. This was Fallon a few months ago explaining the reason why or how she connected with Dennis or his team.
How did you end up working with Dennis? He asked me. Well, he didn't ask me. His people asked my people. And then they paid me. And I said yes. That's it. Now, once I actually go to the events, we'll see. I did not. They said, how did you have a party at Dennis's spot? I did not have a party at Dennis's spot. I will be having a party at Dennis's spot.
And due to copyright reasons, I cannot play the original background of the videos that are currently on the screen. And also you will not be able to hear what Fallon had to say because they're in the club, there's music, copyrights and all of that. They avoid that, so I won't be playing it. Just like she said in the video that she was going to be partying at Dennis's clubs with an S, he tagged basically all of his locations. So Fallon went to most of his locations in Georgia. That's why she had different flyers created. So, you know, she's doing her thing. She's getting her money. And then you had comments like, well, this is messy. I had to censor it myself. The shade of it all. One person that gets it, how in the yeah, I keep saying messy. My girl getting the bag and I don't blame her. To all you haters, I love it. Basically, one monkey don't stop no show. Messy. Well, the person who's really messy is the one who's currently engaged to her ex-husband. You know, if we're going to talk about it, let's talk about it. This woman was over there for her money, her promotion, business purposes only. And at one of his other locations where she was doing a promotion and appearance, this is what she was doing with her fiance. Fallon also took the time to say thank you to some of her friends who came out to support her and her event at one of Dennis's clubs or lounge.
Hey everyone, here we go, y'all. Thank you so much for everybody coming out for me at last minute. I know I hit a lot of you at last second, so thank you so much for just being there for me and, you know, riding it out and taking this long ass drive. But you know what? That's right. But you know what? I wouldn't want to spend this night with anyone else. You guys have made this night so very special and memorable, and I'm gonna carry it with me forever. T, thank you so much for driving in this day. All right, and here we go. Shots up, everybody. Shots up. Woo!
And that's why he booked her. Good energy, dancing, having fun, taking pictures, mingling with the audience, meeting people. Just a very humble person, humble spirit. They danced the night away. They had an amazing time, and Fallon did her thing, okay? So, congratulations again to Fallon. Get your money, girl. Just drown out the noise and live your life. The woman who's not engaged to your ex-husband said that she had no loyalty to you, that both of you were never friends, never cool, never close, only got cool because of the show. So make your money and do your thing, Fallon. Now that we got that out of the way, we're gonna get into the Instagram live. When it started, of course, someone asked her what she was drinking, and she advertised and put up Dennis brand. And that's the reason why I think that she have some form of partnership, or she's one of the spokesmodels for his brand.
My Nyack is right here. What are you saying? Nyack, come on. What are we saying here?
Somebody asked Fallon a question, and that's what started this whole thing of her even bringing up Simon and Porsha. Like I said in the last video, and I did play, where she was talking about Christmas, Halloween, her kids going to school, all of that. She was having just a regular conversation with her supporters. And like I said, Fallon is very transparent. So when she was asked these questions, she decided to answer. But then you had someone who came in the Instagram live and was like, stop talking about them and all of that. I do want to play an excerpt of what she had to say to that person about the reason why she answered questions like this. I want to play that in the beginning so that will open your eyes and make sense to why she still chooses to answer these type of questions, even though she could easily ignore it and not read it out loud and answer them. So I'm going to play some of that first, and then we're going to get into the Porsha and Simon part, and also her defending her fiance and all of that. So let's get into it.
You love how you catch my lives at night. Yeah, at night it's like Fallon after dark, right? Why does Jalen have your last name? Go to our YouTube. Just go to my YouTube, Falynn Pina on YouTube, and you can watch the episode on that. Girl, shut up about them now. I mean, I was asked questions. As long as my fans try to ask me about my growth journey and specifically what it is that they saw me go through, I'm going to speak on it. I mean, they've talked about my paintings, they've talked about my children, they've talked about my son's fathers, and I've talked about all of these things. I don't just talk about my ex-husband. I talk about many things in my life and my experiences and my growth journey and all the things that have made me who I am today. So I'm going to continue to talk about, baby. I'm going to continue to talk about my growth journey and whatever it is that has made me who I am today. Whether it's my exes, I have more than one, unfortunately. Whether it's my paintings, whether it's my mother or my father, or whatever it is that has made me who I am today, my meditation, all of that. I'm going to continue to talk about it. And this is my Instagram. This is my life. If you don't like it, get the off. Stop being a stalker. If you don't like what I talk about, don't come on here. It's as easy as that. It is not, my ex is not the only thing. Honey, can you answer this? Because, it's work. So my ex is not the only thing that has made me. I talk about all the things that have made me. I talk about my abusive parents. I've talked about my therapy. I'm very transparent about everything in my life. So anything that I discuss on my live about my life is what I will continue to discuss. So if you don't like it, you can get the ghost. It's that easy. It's that easy. I didn't ask you to be here. I've been watching your lives for years. Love your growth. Thank you. Bella Mommy, thank you so much. And because you have been here for so long, you understand exactly what I'm saying. Like, my ex doesn't make me. He doesn't make me, he didn't break me. He never would. None of them ever will. However, they were a part of my growth. All of them. And so were my children. So was my mother. So was my stepfathers. So were my siblings. I mean, I've had so many other experiences that I come on here and talk about. So if it really irks you that bad, why the f are you here? I'm here to talk about everything that I've learned in life and my growth experiences. I tell stories, and I talk about everything I've ever been through. So I'm going to keep doing that, because you never know who it is that you're uplifting. You never know who it is that you're helping. And it brings me joy. It brings me peace. It really truly allows me to heal. To talk about all of the triumphs that I've been through and that I've made it through, and it really helps me hear it from you guys, everything that you can relate to my story. Who would have ever known that you guys have been through the same things that I've been through, or that you've made it this far, or that, there's other people out here who are like me. That to be able to connect, I connect through this way, through Instagram Live. I connect to so many people around the world who have similar stories to mine, who uplift me every single time I get on here. And as long as we're doing that for each other, that's all that matters. That's it. That's it. So if you can't relate to that, then this isn't the live for you. Just click off. Block me while you're at it. Don't give a. But I'm going to keep speaking. And you're nobody, and I want to say this loud and clear, guys, for those of you who have ever been through any torment or any trauma, any forms of trauma on this planet Earth at all, no one is allowed to shut you up. You speak up. Speak up, speak loud, speak clear, scream it to the top of your lungs until you're blue in the face. Tell your story. Tell your story. However it is that you want to do it, tell it, because it's beautiful. Your strength is beautiful. And I am the type of person who would look upon you and look up to you. And there are so many other people on this planet Earth who would hear your story and look up to you and look up to your strength. Please continue to tell your truth. I don't care how you do it. I don't care who you tell it to. As long as you feel like you are healing and you're growing, you do that. Don't ever allow anyone to tell you or deter you from that path, because you're ultimately helping someone. You're helping people, and you're being a beacon of light for people to heal and to grow. So keep doing it. Say it loud, say it proud, and say those whoever have anything negative to say about your growth and how far you've come, because you earned this. I just want to make sure that I let that be known.
That was a lot, but I agree with Fallon. We all heal and deal differently. So if this is the method for her and it's working for her with therapy, then I say go for it. I'm a private person, so this might not work for me, but it works for Fallon. And so I wish her the best. Now, this next segment is Fallon talking about when her ex-husband Simon referred to Jaylene as the help and what that did to her.
Another black man's words and apply that to my fiance and call him the help, refer to him as the help. It truly does infuriate me, but only because he had an innocent job and he wasn't out here selling drugs, and he wasn't out here in a gang and doing all of these things against the law, because he had an innocent 9-to-5. He was referred to as the help. And everyone took that on. And that's how they, in the media, that's what they refer to my fiance as, is the help. It's disgusting. And it's highly demeaning to our culture. But they do it because it's entertaining, right? Anyway, moving right along. My fiance is a very good man. He's a hardworking man, and He will do any and everything for his family. He does any and everything for my sons who are not his own. He raised my black sons. He raises them as his own, as black men. And I appreciate him more than I could ever put in words.
When you are on Instagram Live, there's some times where the comments are delayed. You will see the comments going fast, but the person hosting the live, sometimes they are behind. So Fallon is behind. This question is no longer on the screen, so I'm going to read it for you. But this is what she's going to be talking about next. Do you feel played that you brought him around for him to pull this? Porsha is a bleep. Anyways, period. I said what I said. Basically, the person is asking if Fallon feels played because she brought Simon around. And then next thing you know, her ex-husband ended up with Porsha. We all know that Simon and Porsha allegedly were already messing around when Simon and Fallon came on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, allegedly. But as you will notice, when Fallon read this question, she's going to avoid calling Porsha out of her name and all of that. So she's doing her best to stay away from being messy. But she loves to answer her supporters' questions because, like she said, she's very transparent. So let's get into it.
Do you feel played that you brought him around for him? I don't. Listen, all I did was I brought someone around another person, and all that happened was God showed me exactly who the person that I was with. Everything that you do in the dark comes to light. It was meant for me to see him for what he truly was, because God knows that if it hadn't happened that way, I would have never left. God knows that about me. I would have never left. I would have been one of those women to like stay and make excuses for him. You know, only God really knows your strengths and your weaknesses, and he knows what would make you tick to really get up and choose yourself. Everything happened for a reason, and it happened the way exactly it was supposed to happen. How did I get the courage to leave? I didn't get the courage to leave that situation until therapy. And I mentioned this in my book, actually. I was hyperventilating. I didn't get the courage to leave for real, to break all ties until we were in therapy. It was our last therapy session before I said, you know what, I'm ready, I'm done. I was hyperventilating in therapy, and I was like, I'm not strong enough. This was at the time where Simon was openly dating other women while we were still married and working on our marriage. And now, mind you, our marriage was like rocky. It was up and down, up and down. But we were still working. We were still in therapy, working on our marriage. And we were in therapy, and I finally broke down. You know, us Tauruses, we love to stay strong for as long as we can, right? And then finally, I was just like, I can't do it anymore. And I started crying, and I said, I'm not strong enough. I'm not strong enough. I can't keep fighting for this by myself. I'm not strong enough. I'm not strong enough. I just kept screaming to the top of my lungs, I'm not strong enough. And I'm crying. My face is red. I mean, there's snot everywhere. I mean, like, it's bad. I'm hyperventilating. And he looks at me and he smiles and he talks to the therapist. He looks at the therapist and he goes, this is the Fallon I know. And then he gave me a hug. And in that very moment, as he hugged me, everything I ever had for him, all the love I had for him, left my body. In that very instant, I said, this is the end. I am done. The fact that you look at me, and when I'm in complete turmoil and I'm broken, I'm absolutely broken, because I'm sitting here trying to save our marriage, and you could give. The only time that you actually care is when I'm broken, lets me know everything that I need to know. That you are not for me. And not once did he apologize. Not once. He justified him cheating, everything that he ever did. He justified it. it was time for me to go. And he filed for a divorce again after I was like, I'm done. I said it right there in therapy, I'm done. And then he filed for divorce. And I signed that bitch. I was done. That was it. I couldn't get them divorce papers quick enough. I was ready. I was done. And the second I signed the divorce papers, the next day, was it the next? No, I'm sorry. It wasn't the divorce papers. It was before we signed the divorce papers. I was still married. So it was, something happened the next day after we signed. I think Porsha did an interview or something. It was something crazy. But anyway, no, we were still married when we announced our divorce. So, okay, so this is how we announced our divorce. Our divorce was supposed to be announced together. That day that I just mentioned in therapy, Simon hadn't even left. We drove separately to therapy. Simon hadn't even left the parking lot before he posted a posting that was not our joint post. He had created his own post and said that, you know, Fallon and I are getting a divorce and that's it. I didn't even know about Simon posting that because I was driving until I got home. And then all I see are these tags everywhere. You know, my phone going off. Bing, 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 bing. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I open up my Instagram and here he is posting that we're divorced. And I'm like, only because I said I couldn't do this anymore in therapy. And I walked off, you know, hyperventilating. I was like, I'm not strong enough anymore. I can't do this. And I walked off. And it was because of that, that he posted that. Then he went on the rave. Most of y'all know he went on the rave on the Instagram live and said I was a good wife, I was a good person, that I had my own money and I was a catch and all of these things. A few weeks later, he would find out that Jalen and I were dating. And that's when he came out and said that I was cheating on him with Jalen. But that was only after he got all the backlash from getting engaged to Porsha. He called my ex-best friend and told her, from what she told me, she said that he called her, told her that if I mentioned anything about their engagement or I said anything in the media, that he would come out and say, he would put a video out of Jalen walking into the house, and he would say that I cheated on him with Jalen and that everyone would believe him. And everyone did. Everyone believed him. Just as they said. But I never mentioned him. I never mentioned him or Porsha. I never said anything about their engagement at all. It's beneath me. For what? I had already moved on. But it was because that they were getting so much backlash, and then he was begging to her, allegedly, she told me that he told her that he was begging to her and saying, oh, Porsha's getting all of this backlash. Everyone, she's losing all of her fans. They were freaking out, saying, Porsha's losing all of her fans. Nobody's rocking with her no more because we came out with this. Fallon needs to say something. And it was like, how can you say in the same breath that you want me to say something and try to, you know, say like I moved on or whatever, but then say, well, if she doesn't say anything, then, you know, if she does say anything, then, oh, we're going to destroy her. Oh, and he said, Porsha's going to say something about her, and whatever she says, I can't hold her back. Whatever she does, I can't hold her back from that point. I can't protect her. So now I'm being threatened. It was so much going on behind closed doors that no one knew about, that it was too much. Meanwhile, I'm pregnant, and I didn't even get to say like, oh, I moved on and I'm pregnant and I'm happy. Everything just got blown out of proportion, so I got scared. And that's the God and honest truth. I was scared as shit. I was scared. I didn't know what the fuck to say. I had no idea what the fuck to say. I don't know. Because if I come out and say, no, this is lies, and this is actually what happened, now it looks like I'm defending myself. And now it looks like you know, I'm a liar or they're a liar, or, you know, like it just looks like I'm being bitter. So I said, fuck it. Whatever he wants to do, we already decided that you were going to do whatever it was that you were going to do. I didn't know that it was with this person, but you were going to do whatever it is that you want to do. So that's fine. So why is it that I'm being condemned for moving on, but you're not being condemned for you moving on? Why is it that you're trying to destroy me for moving on? I haven't said anything about you. Did I once ever say anything negative about their union? No. So why is it that I'm being tormented for mine? But it is what it is. You know, I have made peace with it. It's just, I think everybody just has questions, and I think everybody else kind of not blew it out of proportion, but it kind of reminds me of the scandal with who is it? The Brad Pitt situation, you know, with Angelina Jolie and everything, and how they got, I feel like, and just like Angelina Jolie said, like everyone blew that relationship out of proportion. And I gave it to Joey. And everybody took it more than what I took it for. I was already gone. So there was no reason for me to go off or go crazy. There's no reason. It was supposed to be gone. It was supposed to be dead. So why bring me up for what I'm doing after I was already moved out of the house. So I'm trying to figure out why was there any reason as to why what I'm doing should be an issue. But, you know, hey, fuck it. I don't care. You definitely grow through what you go through. Oh, that's cute. I like that. You're right. You're right. You do grow through it. I mean, life is life. I didn't see it coming. I did not see it coming. But it is what it is. I mean, everybody ended up good. Everybody ended up happy. So it was so blown out of proportion. Like, it was so crazy for no reason. Emma just woke up from a nap, and she is upstairs because she should not have napped that long. So that means that I'm not going to bed anytime soon. So because she took a long nap, I decided to go ahead and pour me up some Nyack. So, and just have a night, because the kids have they have a digital learning tomorrow, and that's usually a breeze. So, are you still wedding planning? We were actually planning our wedding today. That's funny that you asked that. He is done telling his story. Yeah, so we were just planning our wedding today. Yeah, we are still wedding planning, guys. It is a long process. I'm trying not to get stressed out about it, because wedding planning for anybody is usually very, very annoying and stressful, as much fun as it can be. You want wedding details? It's coming. Did your chronic migraine ever go away? Thank you so much for asking. Yes, it did. It finally went away. I had learned that I was actually stressing a lot. I think I was really stressed about my book. And once it released, it immediately went away. You know, because I just wanted my book to be perfect, and I really wanted to make sure that it did what it was supposed to do. And that was pretty much touch the hearts of those women who have ever been in, who have ever survived from a abusive relationship or an abusive past, or, you know, anything in that nature. I just wanted to be able to connect with those amazing people And so it was just kind of, it was driving me insane as the day was coming, you know, for the release, because it's just, I'm a perfectionist. Is that a hookah in the background? Yes. Jalen is over here chiefing on his hookah.
You know, I have to take it because I'm not.
And on the screen is Fallon thanking her supporters for purchasing her book. You can put me on pause and read it. Scentless is out now. I love how she kept it about what she and Simon went through. Did not drag or bring up Porsha in a negative way, not once. It was her marriage with her ex-husband. He did what he did. She left, and because of the backlash, he decided to lie on her. I've been saying it over and over again. No one filed for divorce, withdraw the divorce filing, and then file again the second time, okay? He filed the second time because after doing all of that with Porsha, allegedly, he still chose his wife. I've been saying that over and over again. He came back, and that's the problem. Just because you came back doesn't make it right. And doesn't mean, oh, look at me, I won. He cheated and did all of that, but he still came back and chose me. No, you chose her to be your wife the first time. It should have stayed like that. Actually leaving and doing all of those things allegedly, that's disrespectful. So I'm glad that she put her foot down and she left. She said he was openly messing with other people, but she was still trying to work on it. And it's true because the girl came out and said, yeah, I was just with him, messing with him, okay? But that girl couldn't give him the type of publicity he was looking for, so he had no choice but to go back to Porsha. But that is embarrassing that after the man spent all that time with you allegedly, did all of those things, kept hiding you, he still went back home, withdrew the divorce, and chose his wife. It was only when she walked away that he came back to you. So you are still an option. But hey, I wish them the best. When she said I was scared, I believe it. Because even in that interview, I'm talking about her very first interview, she was very guarded. She was choosing her words wisely. It was almost like, you know what? I already promised this interview. I don't want to cancel the interview, so I'm just going to do it. What ended up happening is because people have moved on, to them the story is old. So when Falynn talk now, it's basically skipped. You've moved on, she's moved on, next. But that's why she's not doing this in an interview forum. She's just talking to her supporters on Instagram Live and answering questions. Everything else Falynn said was on point, from defending her fiance and, you know, the job that he does, and because he's not out here, all of those things were on point. Even the point about telling your story and not allowing people to silence you or you living in fear and all of that. What works for you might not work for the next person. I'm all about healing, checking in on yourself, making sure you're straight, mental health is well balanced, all of that. So if this is how she heals, and if this is a healing process, then who are we to say, oh girl, be quiet? Yes, she have family, she have Jalen, she have a lot of people that she can talk to about certain things offline. But if going on Instagram Live, talking to her supporters in a way, help her heal and make her happy because she feels like, you know what, my story is helping people, I'm being a blessing, I'm being a vessel, then that's her process. And it's not fair to silence her. And like she said, if you're not here for what I have to say, then leave, don't follow me. But that situation could have also been misinterpreted. Maybe the person just felt like, girl, we don't want you to end up on the blogs and make it look like you are still pressed, okay, or upset or bitter, and you're talking about them. And if you're so happy in your relationship, why are you talking about them? If this was Porsha and Simon, that would have been the narrative. If the both of you are so happy in what you got going on, why are you still bringing her up? So it could be also that person was just trying to look out for her and say, girl, stop talking about them, move on. But that's why I included other parts of the Instagram Live in part 1. And that's why I also included the beginning of the Instagram Live and also the wedding part and her having migraines, her book, all of that, just to show you that this woman was on Instagram Live for almost an hour having a regular conversation, and then someone asked her and she decided to answer. It wasn't, let me go on live and bash Porsha and Simon. And yes, she could have absolutely skipped the question. She chose not to. And like she said, if her story and her being transparent is helping people, then she's doing her job. And lastly, a while ago, when Fallon was just venting on Instagram, she told one of the biggest blog pages on Instagram to never post her again. So she doesn't care about, let me be on this blog, let me be on that blog, and I need the publicity. She loves her peace, and she loves just going on Instagram Live and chatting with her people. If she was desperate to be reposted on these blogs, she wouldn't have asked them to not post her. She said, please don't ever post me again, and they didn't. I'm wishing all of you well. If you're not left, thank you all for your love and support. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and leave this video a thumbs up. Also turn on notifications so when I do post, you're aware that I posted. And I will see you all in the comment section. Remember to always have the God bless attitude, which is being positive at all times and seeing the good in every situation. Have a great day, guys. God bless.